Test. You are live. Hey guys, it's Bruce. Welcome to ConvoCourses podcast. I'm doing something a little bit different this time. I'm in a special position where I'm about to, this is real, I'm about to go for another job. And I've been at the current job I'm at since, it's been about 3 years. And I'm starting to see the patterns, right? Like, if you've ever wondered, like, how do I know it's time for me to go? What is the indicator? I'm going to show you real world, like what somebody's actually going through in real time right now. So I got a little beer with me, courtesy of subscribers. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna break this down. Starting off with why. Why did I leave? Why am I leaving? I should say. Why does it feel like it's time? And my average time at a job has been about 3 years in this economy, and since I've been in the workforce, it's been about 3 years. The longest I've been at a job was in the military, was for 8 years. And the same pattern keeps happening even in the military. The same. It's like a group of. First of all, it's not one thing that makes me leave. It's usually several things that keeps giving me an indicator that it's time to go. And the first one is usually the organization's goals and values don't align with mine. The organization's goal, and usually, like, for me, this is a job, right? If they hire me as a contractor, I'm just doing the job. I'm not really paying attention to the politics or whatever. I'm like, whatever, right? I have a job to do. I got to feed my family. I got to make money, period. But sometimes it gets so ridiculous. Like, the organization's doing something so stupid, brazen, evil, or dumb that I can't ignore it. And it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And it trickles down. Like, usually the organization's actions are not isolated. It trickles down to the workforce, like the people doing the work. So yeah, sometimes it'll be something like that. The organization as a whole, not all the time. Like, I worked at some places that I really enjoyed. Like, the mission was cool or whatever, it was fun. Like, I would say Verizon was one of those places that I worked at. I was like, it wasn't personal. We were just doing work. Like, but in the government sector, sometimes the government just does things and I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Anyway, and I can usually overlook that. But it doesn't always align with my, with things I would approve of or things I voted for or whatever. But the next thing I would say is there's telltale signs starting to happen. Telltale signs, and one of those telltale signs is when good people start to leave the organization. You have times when dirtbags will leave, like people who weren't doing work anyway, or they don't care how much work you have to do. They're just, they're doing their own thing and they're not going to help or whatever. They're going to do their own thing, or they're not even doing their work. And then you got to do their work too. Dirtbags. And when they leave, nobody cares. It opens up a slot for somebody good to come in. So that's cool. But when a good person leaves, when this person's a hard worker, this person was very talented, this person was really smart, and then they leave. And then another person who's same thing, they leave, and it's like a domino effect. More and more good people start leaving. It's one of those. It's like what we call a canary in the coal mine. Wow. They used to take canaries in coal mines to see if there was enough air or if there was like a gas leak, because then the bird would die. And that because you can't some gases or whatever, you can't see it until it's too late. You can't detect it, I should say, until it's too late. And so that's what happens in organizations. Like, good people start leaving, and it's like a domino effect. And then another person will leave, and then another person will leave, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. And then the work increases. Like, work increases, You start losing good people back to back. And another trend that you see, that's another telltale sign, is when it's like a rotating door. Like people are in and out. Like they come in, they're there for like 2 years or 1 year, they're gone, or even less, and they're just gone. Like they can't keep people in, and there's a reason. I've been in several organizations like that. I've had some good ones. Like when I was at Verizon, it wasn't like that. People stay there for a really long time. They have problems or whatever, but people stay there for a long time, and it was a reason because they took care of people. They were reasonable. They suffered as a team usually. But some organizations I've worked for, you had a domino effect of people leaving. You had a rotating door of people coming in and out. They would do like the work would increase, and you like, why are we doing redundant work? Like, why are we doing the same thing when we already have a whole bunch of stuff to do? But then they keep adding more work, and you're like, what are they doing here? And you can't add it up. And what's happening, it seems like what'll happen is, I think what'll happen, like from what I've seen, is that there's a political side that's happening that you can't, as a worker, you're not seeing behind the scenes. A CIO or somebody below them getting yelled at for something. So there's political forces at play, and then it trickles down. And then by the time it gets to you, the worker, you're like, why? This doesn't make any sense. And there's like a disconnect between what's happening at the top. Some political nonsense is happening at the top. And then they're having you do things that functionally don't make any sense, that are not efficient, not helpful, and you're just wasting your time. And then you get yelled at. They're yelling at people. These are just things I've seen, like a repeating pattern of when it's time to go. The work is increased. People are in and out. We're losing good people for no reason. The organization as a whole is doing real dumb stuff. And like, what are we doing here? So yeah, that's the reasons that I've seen. I'm just telling you guys from my personal experience, and it's happened right now in real time. These things I'm telling you are happening, but it's also happened in several other organizations that I work for. And that's just the nature of GRC work sometimes in the contracting space, doing government tech, gov tech. It's just like that sometimes, So what I'm going to do is show you guys, like, what do I do when I'm preparing when it's time to go. Number one, don't burn bridges, especially in cybersecurity. No matter what happens, as much as you can, just remember the job you currently have is a footfall for you to go to the next level. So to make one step forward, like, you have to take, you had several steps behind you. Don't burn bridges. You're going to walk across a bridge. Don't burn it on your way out, because you're going to need it at some point. You're going to have to list it on your resume. They're going to ask you for references. You're going to do the best job you can given the situation you have, because you just never know when you're going to need those resources again. And I'm not telling you to kiss people's ass or anything like that. What I'm telling you is, don't burn bridges. Don't. If there's a way you can avoid some ridiculous, useless argument, if there's a way you can avoid making more chaos than they already have, if you can do your very best when you're there in the situation that you're in, so it doesn't destroy your next opportunity, because you might have to reach back. You might have to reach back to those. And a lot of times, like, I've worked in places where the organization wasn't great, or the relationship between the contractor and the government was really bad or whatever. Really, really bad, right? Contentious. Like, I'm surprised it's not in the news type shit. But then the people that I worked with, my peers, some of the government people, some of the contractors I work with, were just phenomenal, awesome people that were going through the same stuff I'm going through. And you don't want to burn those bridges, right? Like, you might have to reach back to them and say, hey man, can I use you as a reference? or hey, we've got another job opening over here. It's a whole nother situation, so we can bring you back over. You don't want to destroy those. Those are your best opportunities. Are the people right? I get a lot of people on this channel saying, hey, I can't get a job, and it's all about who you know, who you know, who you know. They have a point, because my best resources have been people I know. My best, but hands down, the best resources that I have has been people that I know. Like maybe 50%, 45 to 50% of the jobs I've gotten has been because I knew somebody at a job before, and somebody recommended me, and that recommendation goes a long way. So don't burn bridges. Do not burn bridges. Make good. These people are your peers, so don't burn bridges. That means don't destroy the relationships that you have at your old job. Be good. Be good to the people that's working there. Be as the situation being bad, do the best you can, and then use that as a stepping stone to go to the next level. Another thing is that I would say, aside from not burning the bridges, is always be ready. If you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. That's another thing. What you're looking at here on the screen, if you happen to be watching me, is my profile. My profile stays fresh. Like, I'm always updating it. I'm always on this profile. I'm updating it. I got a certification. I put it on here. I'm updating it. I'm constantly active on here. And because I know I might need this thing, especially in this job market we're in. Like, you never know, I might need this. So I'm going through updating it when I find another way to get my resume tight, and here's another thing. It's not just your resume. These days, it's more and more your profiles. So not just your LinkedIn profile, but all profiles across the board. Like, keep them updated. And you don't have to be extra and put like posts daily or whatever. You don't have to do all of this, right? I'm saying keep these parts right here. Your about me on your profile, your skills, as you update more skills, your experience. Keep this stuff updated as much as possible. Be on here, be active. What I've noticed is, if you're active on these sites, Dice, Monster, Career Builder, ZipRecruiter, all of them, the more active you are, the more hits you get, the more people. I don't know if it's the algorithm, like whenever it sees you update something. I've just noticed, like, when I update it, when I'm on there, when I'm active, I start getting more employers contacting me about opportunities. So be active, keep your profiles and your resume up to date. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, don't burn bridges. Keep your resume and your profiles up to date. And what I'm going to do live here is show you my resume. And unfortunately, I don't have, let me see if I have one I can actually show without getting hacked. Got to remain paranoid. Yeah, so these are the things. This is like the thought process, and why I have been able to remain employed since the year 2003 when I got out of the military. Even different job markets have popped up, including COVID and everything, recessions, Trump administration 1 and 2. I've been able to remain employed because I'm using what I'm showing you right now. It's been working, right? It's not perfect, but it's definitely been working all these years to where my family is taken care of. And I want the same thing for you, right? I want the same thing for you. I don't want you to have to struggle any more than is necessary in this crazy ass capitalistic society we have here. I want the best for why suffer more, right, than we already have? There's already enough suffering in the world. Why make more? You know what I mean? Like, I want you to be successful for no other reason than that you're a human being and you deserve better. I have resources, and I'm trying to tell you guys what resources I've been using, what I've been doing, what I've seen, how you can do it too. This is not rocket scientist. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination um, any smarter than you. I would probably say I work harder than you. I would take that one. I'd pat myself on the back on that one. I don't know too many people who work harder than I do, but there are some. All right. Smarter, yes, you're probably smarter than me. There's a very good chance. All right. Okay, so I got some comments and stuff. I'm gonna keep this one open. I'm gonna be showing you guys my real resume. I'm gonna be updating this stuff live. I'm gonna show you guys what's my secrets, so to speak. If you want more, if you want to continue this conversation after this, if I don't get to your comments or whatever, don't no need to fret. You can always contact me on ConvoCourses.com, ConvoCourses.org, ConvoCourses.net. Come and talk to me. And I'm testing out Circle to see how that is to kind of boost up the community activity and talking and stuff. And I see you guys as military peak organization like this. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my resume. So I already told you, don't burn bridges, stay ready. And your next question. So, well, how can I stay ready? What can I do on my resume? So what you're looking at is my real resume. The names have been changed to protect the innocent, but for the most part, what you're seeing is real, really real. These are places I actually worked. This is actual experience I had. There are definitely some things I need to fix. This is my old resume. Let me see if I can get up another new. Let's keep it like this so we can update it live. All right. So here we go. I'm going to update this thing. As you can see, number one, I only have up to 2022 on here. So I got to make sure that I have my current work. And I've done a lot since then, since 2022, an awful lot. I've evolved, since 2022. I've attained more skills. I've got more experience. It's been a huge uptick in skill set since 2022. So let's update this, right? Let's see what we can do here. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to grab experience from my recent work. So I'm going to copy this just to get the format. If you're interested in this, you can go to ConvoCourses.com and get my real resume. It's outdated a bit, but the wording is what you should be. The wording and the format is what you should be looking for on that thing. So here we are. Right now, I currently work as a principal information. Look at this. I'm gonna run spell check on it, so don't worry. Information system security officer. I saw a really good question from Ryan on LinkedIn. He said, not a question, but like a statement. I thought it was a good talking point. He said, like, how do you translate old military experience into like something that's gonna be useful to the civilian market? And that's a great question. It comes to mind because you got to think about that throughout your resume. Like, what does the current market look like? Maybe nobody calls this position an information system security officer. Maybe sometimes the market shifts and they call it something else. Like maybe they use the word GRC. So what I can do here to kind of cheat to say government or federal GRC, because that's what we're doing. That's what I did. Federal GRC. If this was a keyword, then this is something I could do. My real title is this right here. And I found titles sometimes, like, especially work for the government. The government will have one title for me. The contractor I'm working for has another title. But what they really mean is X. Does that make any sense? It's important to know the market enough to know the distinction between those things. I hope I'm making sense here. So there's a real title that you were given, like you hired under, right? There might be another title with that, because and the reason why this is important to distinction to make is because sometimes I've noticed, especially private organizations and contracting organizations, they can name it whatever they want. They can call it, instead of calling you an electrician, they can call you the lighting master. They can call it can they can title it any way they want, which is not going to help you on your resume when they do these dumbass, you know, name, unless it's like an Imagineer from Disney. You know, everybody wants an Imagineer or whatever. You know, if it is like a special title like that, maybe, you know. But if it's like some shit they made up and it's not like a well-known brand or something, then you kind of gotta sometimes let the title, what you can do is put in here on the title the name that everyone knows it is. Like in the government space, everyone knows what an ISO is. It's very common to have an information system security officer, but in the regular outside the government, people don't know what an ISO is. They don't know what an ISO is. But they, if I said it's a federal GRC officer, then they would know. So I'm in parentheses, I'm just explaining what it is, right? All right, so let's keep going here. The next thing we have to fill out in this ATS style resume is this right here, this area here. So I got to get the time frame of when I worked here. I see you guys' questions and comments and stuff. Just bear with me. I'm gonna walk through this thing. I'm showing you guys. You know, this is real. This is really this is happening in real time. So I don't have any notes prepared or anything. So this is not going to be flashy or entertaining or have a bunch of keywords to get people to click it. So the organization, I'm going to put that here. And then we'll put remote here. Remote. Yeah, and if you happen to work for this organization, you know, I'm not, this is, the words I'm saying are not the, they don't have the same beliefs as me, right? But luckily I have the freedom to say what I want here. And it's no disrespect to this organization. They gave me a job. They have a bunch of awesome contracts. So they're doing really well in this environment. They have more than one government partner. So no disrespect to these guys who hire me. I'm not trying to burn any bridges. Right. So it is what it is, right? They gotta do what's best for their business. And I gotta do what's best for my family. So, okay, 2022. And then to present, that's what you do. To present. Present. You want the first day that you got there, and then if you're currently working there, you say present. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some bullet statements in here. I'm gonna put my best bullet statements. What you want to do is their best, most catchy, jaw-dropping things here, and I just copied it directly from LinkedIn because I'm trying to get through this. But I would definitely want to format this better because look at this, formatting's all jacked up. So we'd want to fix that. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. I remove. Can I add? It's not going to allow me to do that. Nope. Okay, so I got to delete each one of these bullets. Delete bullets. Delete bullets. Delete the bullets. And then I'll read through a couple of these to show you where we're at here. Okay, let's see if I can now add the bullets here. No, wow. All right, okay, let's do this. It's gonna go here, remove that, and we're gonna put some spaces in here. I'm just trying to make it look like the rest of the document, right? I just want it to kind of flow better, so it's not. Um, I don't want anybody to see the resume and pass immediately because it doesn't, because the formatting is so jacked up that's the only thing they see. I don't want distractions from the actual job work I did over all these years. I want them to see what I did and not be distracted by the poor formatting of my document or the poor spelling or something like that, right? I want the highlight to be what I've done. And so here we go. So now the formatting is okay. It doesn't have to be fancy. Like, we're not graphic artists here. We're engineers, right? We just want to get the point across what we're trying to do. All right, so I was an information security officer, and I put in here federal GRC officer. If that, if this was a popular term, then I'd want to maybe put something in there to kind of, all I'm trying to do is get keywords so that they know what an ISO is. And it basically it's a GRC person in the federal government. Now let's get to the bullets. Provide continuous monitoring with tools like Splunk, reviewing audit logs to keep track of anomalies. Now, one thing I might want to do here is put in here SIEM tools. Let's put SIEM, because I want to put more keywords in here. A SIEM is a security information event manager tools such as Splunk. Reviewing audit logs to keep track of anomalies in the environment. Right. And then so I've done a couple things here. I've got a couple of really good bullets: continuous monitoring, SIEM tools. This right here, I know in my industry is a good bullet to put in there. If I put look at logs, right, that's kind of what I was doing, but continuous monitoring is what they're going to be looking for. You get me? SIEM tools. So I'm saying, hey, there's more than one, and I know these things. And I'm giving them an example that's also a great keyword, which is Splunk. Reviewing audit logs to keep track of anomalies in the environment. So there you go. Right. And if I wanted to go a step further, I could use numbers. As much as possible, do you want to show the impact of what you did? Like maybe showing how many logs, how what was the impact of you being a part of the incident response portion of the organization. Like you probably want to put something in there that shows the impact of what you did. But right now I want to focus on keywords. Another one would be, hey Larry, how you doing, man? Another one that might be a good keyword for my industry would be something like this. I might even want to put something like similar to Archer EMAS, something like that, in accordance with NIST 800. I might even want to put RMF because that's a real good keyword for what I'm trying to do. So line by line, I'm stuffing this with keywords. I'm not making things up. This is not lies. I'm not exaggerating. These are things I actually did. As a matter of fact, what I should do, what I'm not doing here, what you don't see is the impact, that would be my next step. First thing is definitely put as many keywords as possible. You get the idea on this. Every line, you don't have to listen. In the course of the years that you're there, I've been there for 3 years. Let's be real. I've been there 3 years. I can't list all the things on a one piece of paper of everything. If I put every detail of everything I did there, it'd be too much for a person to want to read. Like it would just get boring. They don't have the resources to read something that dense that if I put that in. So what we're trying to do is highlight the main things that we've done in the course of that 3 years. You've done something, especially if you've been there for 6 months to a year. You've done incredible things. You're just so busy and your mind's so much in the game that you don't have time to sit there and document what you did. This is the opportunity you have to shine. Like, you really need to take your time and think of all the main things that you've done in that year time, right? I'm walking you through my mindset step by step so you can do it on your own. So you can do this on your own, right? Before you get to use AI to do your resume, before you do anything, like, you need to sit down and take time and really read your resume thoroughly, like read through everything and do a spell check. Look at this. I mean, I got spell check stuff going on. Do a spell check, go through every line and highlight keywords. Now, the next question you should be asking is what are keywords? How do you know what keywords to use? And if that's your question, man, you're on the right track. That's a brilliant question. How do you know? Like me, I've been in this for a long time. Like, off the top of my head, I could tell you most of the keywords. But even me, like, the market's constantly shifting. You got to pay attention. And that's why one of the things I do, one of the best tools to use, let me see if I can bring it up here. One of the best tools that you can use is LinkedIn. If I could, what is going on here? Give me a second, guys. I lost my LinkedIn page. All right, there it is not. Okay, here we go right here. We're back. And we're back. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So I've already established what you need to do is don't burn bridges, right? Keep in contact with people. Do your best, even in harsh, ridiculously dramatic and toxic environments. Don't burn bridges because you're going to need those resources. Stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And now we're focusing on the resume. ATS style resume. If you're not familiar with that, you can go to Google, type in ATS style resume. There's tons of free examples there. You can also download my actual resume for free, and it'll give you an example of a GRC or IT cybersecurity AT style resume that has been working for me. It's been working for me for years. I'm constantly getting calls. I'm getting contacted all the time. I can pick and choose what job I want to apply for, that I want to get into. Even now in this economy, I'm still getting people contacting me on a regular basis about different jobs. Definitely not as good as it was before, but I still get them. All right. So next thing we're going to do is look for keywords. How do you know if you want to be a cloud person? What's the keywords? If you want to be a forensics person, what's the keywords? If you want to be a project manager, if you want to be a CIO, you name it. How do you find it? Come straight over here to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has some of the best resources you can use. And one of those, let me show you. I'll just show you. So I know in my field, this is a great keyword. So I'm just going to type in a keyword. I want you to follow along with me. If you're serious about getting a job in any field, follow along. Type in a keyword that you know is dope in your career field. We're going to try different things. Number one, whatever field you're trying to get into. And before you even type anything, if you're like, oh, I want to be a forensics person, but you've never done any forensics, don't type that in. Don't type that in. Like, it should be aligned with something you can get within, if you don't have any experience and you're trying to be a forensics person, there's a very low probability that they're going to give you a job doing forensics. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. If you're very new to this, you need to do help desk. You need to do something like you've got to start where you are. So if you have no experience whatsoever, you're going to have to be a cable guy, a tech support person taking calls, fixing people's laptops in a help desk or a tech support role. And then have to be something like that. But if you are an IT person and you've already been doing help desk for a number of years or even a few months, right? You have experience, but now you're trying to level up. And maybe you're trying to go into cybersecurity. Maybe you're trying to do SOC and analyst work, right? Though that choose something that's adjacent or next to you, right? If you're brand new, the next thing that you need to do to get into break into IT is help desk. All right. You're just window shopping at this point. If you're brand new to this, listen to me. If you have no GRC experience whatsoever, you've never been a project manager, you never worked for the government, you're not in financial sector, you're not in healthcare, you don't know nothing about any of these things, you're not in any kind of field, you work as you're a secretary and you're trying to transition into IT because listen, the next thing you need to do is get basic knowledge, IT knowledge. I'm saying this because I get a whole bunch of rotating people who come in and ask me questions about how to get in this field. And I'm not telling you can't, but I'm telling you realistically, you're adjacent to help desk. Like you need to start from, and I'm not even like, you've got to start from where you happen to be at right now. Okay. So I just want to be real with you. So if that's you, if I just described you, you need to put in entry level IT here, right? But if you are a IT person, if you're a project manager and you have had exposure to, you want to get into cybersecurity, start thinking about SOC analyst, start thinking about GRC type positions, start thinking about PCI DSS if that's what you're in the financial or retail sector. I'm typing this in because I know that this is one of the top keywords. But if you don't know any keywords, let's say entry level. All right, let me keep it simple. Entry level IT. Entry level IT. Let's just take one step at a time. What are you going to do? You're going to go to people. Are you with me so far? Entry level IT, go to people. You'll see why in a second. Look at this. This right here is an incredible resource for you because this is telling you these are other entry level people who are badasses who are doing what they need to do. Look at this. You can take from these people. Look at this. This is a great example of how you can start. If she still has her stuff out there. Yeah, this was really great. She said, taking steps towards aggressively. Look at this. This is awesome. Actively if I can read, actively progressing towards entry-level cybersecurity specialist. This is the kind of wording you need, right? I'm telling you to use this type of wording. Look at this person's resume. Look at the type of stuff that they're putting. There's a reason why they're number one on LinkedIn. There's a reason. Their wording is dope. Here's another one. David, he says he's explaining where he's at. He's got a bachelor's degree in information technology software development. He's putting as much as he can. He's entry level. So he's putting everything he can. He's throwing everything he can at this. I respect it. So that's entry level, right? You want to copy what kind of keywords, what kinds of things that people are putting in their profile and in their resumes, and you want to copy that. Another thing you can do is look at the jobs. Let's go. We still got IT, entry level IT, okay? And I'm going to do intermediate and all that stuff in a second. Just bear with me. I'm telling you guys my secrets. This is exactly how I do it. All right. So we looked at people. Now we want to look at jobs. Now this is going to give us further keywords we can use on our resume. This is going to tell you what organizations like ITS LLC in Colorado Springs, they're looking for in a junior help desk technician. What are they looking for? We're not looking for jobs here just yet, okay? We're trying to get our resume together. We probably wouldn't apply for this job. Look, it's got 100 people already applied for this job. We probably wouldn't even go for this job. I mean, this is not just in another state. Like right now, we're just doing research, right? So you don't want every job, okay? You don't want every job. So just because somebody turned you down or they didn't accept you or they didn't read your resume, you don't want every job. They don't want every employee. You don't want every employer, okay? You're looking for a very special set of dope-ass organizations to look for, that you can apply for. You can develop with them. Okay, so look at this. Keywords. Tier 1 help desk technician support. troubleshooting, IT repair. You'll see the same keywords over and over again for entry level IT. All right. Those are the words you want to put in your resume somehow, some way. Magically, you got to put them in your resume. You got to find a way to creatively put them in your resume. Even if you've never done troubleshooting and repair, troubleshooting and repairing IT, you want to find a creative way to put it in there without lying. All right. You could say, that you had projects where you did troubleshooting, and make sure that you've done that. Like, you can do that right now, literally right now. You could do that, and then say, that you had a project where you troubleshot. You did troubleshooting and repairing on devices in a small environment, in a small networking environment. You installed and maintained Linux and Windows 11 systems in a virtual environment, and you can actually do that and then put that in your resume, right? As projects. So, or that you're leaning towards a tier 1 help desk technician, something like that. Progressively looking for training for getting into a tier 1 help desk position. I don't know, something like that. You got to be creative to get these keywords in your resume. And there's tons and tons and tons of different examples of how you can word it and what keywords are in there for this one. Now let's go to intermediate. Now I'm talking to people who, you're already in this field. Maybe you're already a cybersecurity person. You're already a project manager. You're already maybe you're already a cyber person, but you want to upgrade. You want to focus on something. Let's say you wanted to go into SOC analyst work or something. And Rookie, thank you for that $10. I appreciate you. I will be getting to you guys' questions. I see you. But let's say you were looking for, look at this. This even helps you to guide you into what to put in there, right? But right now, I want to show you what I've been doing. So let's say SOC analyst. We're looking for keywords for SOC analyst work. We're looking for patterns. So the name of the game for looking for these keywords is looking for patterns in the job market. And these different employers are telling us a number of things. It's going to tell us what areas of the United States are hiring. Because right now, this area I'm in, I don't live in this city here. This city that they keep mentioning here, there's a lot of key. It's telling us a lot just by these searches. It knows my location. I'm in Colorado. I don't live in Colorado Springs. But why does it keep coming up with Colorado Springs? The reason why is because that's where most of the jobs are. The same thing will happen to you. When you type something in here, it's going to know what location you're in, right? If you've built the profile out and everything on LinkedIn. And the same thing for Dice and Monster and all the other ones. They have an algorithm that says, okay, where is this person at? What kind of skill set do they have? Let me look at their profile. It's taking your profile and then it's matching you as best as it can with different employers. And it's starting with your location. Most of the jobs around where I live are in Colorado Springs. It's one of the largest cities in Colorado. But if I lived closer to Denver, I guarantee you it's all Denver. And if I keep going down the line, I'll see Denver jobs. There's a ton of Denver jobs, right? So what I'm trying to tell you to do is like look for patterns of where the jobs are, what kinds of jobs, and most of these are on site in Colorado Springs, and a lot of them are either contracts or direct government hire for different DoD organizations, because there's a lot of bases around this area. And then another one, just looking at this, we haven't even deep dived yet. Locations, clearances. In this area, there's a ton. They really like clearances here. So I'm looking for patterns here, right? These are patterns that I want to integrate into my resume as much as possible. I might say something like live near Colorado Springs area. I might say something like have a secret clearance, have a this or that background check, have this or that clearance, right? Those are things that are going to help me out. But let's deep dive into this. I want a SOC analyst, security operations center position. What other keywords can we draw from this, right? And I'm only telling you guys the kind of research I do. So this job doesn't have a breakdown of the description, which is not helpful. This one, look at this. Only 12 people have applied for this one. So this one's hot. 3 days ago, I could get this job right now. This one's hot right here. So I'm still not getting any good explanations of what we're gonna do. Oh, okay, I didn't go down far enough. My bad. What we're looking for here is keywords. We're gonna read through the job description because this is gonna give us some keywords. 24 by 7, 24 by 7, 365 days monitoring. This is a keyword. You'll see this over and over again with SOC analyst positions because that's what they do. And you want to put in there try to put this kind of keywording in your resume. Another thing is SIEM. Look at this. SIEM technology. Lamar, thank you for that $20. I appreciate you. Look at this. Look at the wording here. They spelled out SIEM, Security Information and Event Monitoring SIEM platform, and or log management. You want to put this in your resume. This is the kind of stuff you want to put in your resume. Look at this. Here's another thing. If you know routing protocols, look at this. Look how they put operating systems in here. They want you to know Windows OS, Linux, Active Directory. You have an understanding, conceptual understanding of Windows Active Directory. They didn't say they want you to set up Active Directory. You don't have to, you're not an admin. You're not setting up Active Directory. You just need to have a basic conceptual understanding of Active Directory, Windows Active Directory, and then the protocols, and a working knowledge of TCP, UDP, ICMP, and different other protocols, routing protocols. You're going to have to, know those. So yeah, these are the kinds of things you want to put in your resume. These are keywords. And what you'll see is if we go down this list is you'll see the same pattern of what SOC analysts are looking for. This is the same pattern over and over again. And this is the kind of stuff you want to incorporate in your resume. So yeah, let me show you. Allow me to demonstrate. So here's another one. It's a whole nother job here. And this is a little bit different because this is not a SOC analyst role. Okay, let's get out of this one. We're looking for another purely SOC analyst type position. I just want to demonstrate to you how similar these roles are. All right, was I on this one before? This is a different one, I think, or is it? No, this is the same one I was on. My bad. Okay, let me go to this next one here because I want to realistically show you like the pattern and let you see it. I want you to see for yourself the pattern that I'm seeing. Look at this. Do you see anything similar here? I know I am. 365 monitoring. You want to have that in your resume. If you're trying to be a SOC analyst, this is what you want to have in your resume. Somewhere, somehow, some way, be creative to put it in there. I'm not telling you to lie in your resume. I'm telling you to use the language that they are using. That's what we're doing. We are using the language that they're using as much as possible in our resume. Now let's look for other keywords here. It's like they copied and pasted it. This might be the same job. This might be the same job. So let me go to another one. I think it might be the same job. This literally might be the same job because it's so similar. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Let me go to a completely information assurance analyst. This might be it. Okay, this might be a different job. Looks like that position just opened up. That's why that one's the same position. I'm trying to show you guys a pattern. Show you I'm not lying to you. So you can see what I'm seeing here. Analyze patterns of non-compliance on attacks, right? In the way that you do that is knowing how packets and routing protocols work. So that's another way of saying the same thing. They're not breaking down individual routing protocols you need to know, but they're saying, hey, you need to be able to recognize patterns. Another thing is clearance. Certifications, that's another thing to take a look at. You'll notice that they're not using, it's not CEH, but they're saying, hey, we want you to have a CompTIA Security Plus CE or higher. Another thing you'll see, especially in the Department of Defense, is 8570. Go take a look at that. That'll blow your mind. It'll make you very happy. It'll tell you exactly what certifications they want you to have. Yeah, so there's a little bit of patterns in here. If you read through this, Insider threat configures, optimize, and test network devices, diagnose and resolve IA problems, into information assurance problems in response to reported incidents. So you're doing incident reporting. You are enhance rule sets to identify or block sources of sources of or potential sources of malicious traffic. So these are more keywords that you can use. That does sound like a SOC analyst type position. Let me see if I can find another one. I I think you guys get the idea of what I'm saying. You want to use some of these jobs to find and gather as many keywords and key phrases as possible. But it doesn't stop there. We have another great resource. Remember, people. So here I am, still on LinkedIn. I'm still looking for a SOC analyst. Now I'm going to look at people. This is a really important one. This is one of the best things about LinkedIn. I've yet to get I think I got maybe one job once from LinkedIn. I think I did. Most of the jobs I've gotten have been from some of my old peers, coworkers who I reached out to, or they reached out to me and dragged me into another position. Thankfully, thank God for these people who helped me out. Or it was Dice on Monster. Dice and Monster have been like, man, I mean, damn, there's so many experiences. I mean, so many opportunities on there. LinkedIn, I might have gotten a lot of opportunities. I can't say that it's just not as good as Monster. And for me, in my experience, it hasn't been. But what is really, really good for, and then nobody can touch it, is this part right here. Because Dice doesn't have this, Indeed doesn't have this, Monster doesn't have this. Only LinkedIn, as far as I know, has this. And there might be Glassdoor or some other ones that have it, but this is the best. This is people's resumes. So I'm looking at some of the top SOC analysts in my area who are marketing themselves right now. So I can take a look at what they have to see what I need to have on my resume, so I can be more competitive and get out there. Right? So this is telling me what certifications they have, what skill sets, what places they worked for. And some people will actually show you the ones you really want to know, you want to look at and observe, are the people who put their whole resume out there. People like myself who put their whole resume out there with their experience and everything. But this does have some keywords in it, and you want to be paying attention to what certifications they have, how many years of experience do they have, what kind of tools, what kind of skills, where do they work, all that kind of stuff you want to take into account. I'm still looking for somebody who's showing their actual resume out there. There's a lot of cybersecurity people are very, especially paranoid people. So sometimes they're not going to have their stuff out there, as you can see. Okay, here's one. Thank goodness. Who is this person? Shout out to Derek Ballard, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. So this guy is a SOC analyst right now. And look at this. Look at his awesome experience. Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Defender, IBM Q Radar. You're seeing a lot of the stuff that you need to have on your resume. And those are the kinds of things that you want to advertise. You need to have this kind of stuff on your resume. That's what I'm trying to tell you to do. Once you get your resume tight, once you've gone through all of this stuff, it's not going to take you. This is going to take your full attention, right? You can't do this while you're doom scrolling on TikTok. You need to take some time and sit down and dissect the hell out of your resume and put those keywords in there. Get it tight to where even once you run it through AI, and I'm telling you, like, after you're done with it, AI might have some input for you, but you've already done your homework. You already know the market. You are the best pattern analyst for what you're trying to do. You know where you currently happen to be at, like where you happen to be, where you want to go. So you're going to have a better pattern recognition, a better understanding of what you need to put on your resume than any AI or than myself, a professional, or anybody else. and AI is gonna, don't get me wrong, it's a incredible resource, and a professional who's been in the field, even better. But you are the best piece of that puzzle, because you are the person walking. Nobody can walk in your shoes. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you can do and what you're capable of, and that's this kind of stuff. When you're going through the keywords, you'll know what to put on there. You have a better idea and understanding. That's why you're gonna have to sit down and go through. If you're trying to be a SOC analyst, go through line by line. Put away doom scrolling, line by line, and figure out what you want to do. Okay, let me go through some questions real quick. I got a few people jumping in here. I appreciate you guys' patience. I'm trying to show you everything I'm doing to get jobs, have done to get jobs, to remain employed. And right now I'm going through a special period where I'm about to do a transition. I can feel it. The writing's on the wall. I've done this so many times that I know it's about to happen soon. I want to take you guys on that journey with me, starting from the very beginning. Don't burn bridges. Don't burn them. Don't do it. It's not worth. You're going to need that step. The step that you took before is going to help you to keep going further. Okay, so Victor Davis says military peak organizations like this. Okay, let me see. More comments, more questions, more complaints, any kind of. Okay, somebody said, can you look at my LinkedIn and give me advice? Yeah, send it to me right now. I'll take a look at it live. If you don't mind a whole bunch of people looking at it, then you can send it to me right now and I'll take a look and I'll give you some of my honest opinion about it. I want the HR to like it. Yes, that's a great point. You want HR, the people, not just HR, but technical recruiters, algorithms, because sometimes it's mostly these days it's a machine that's actually looking at the resumes. So we want to make it look pretty for them. Like that's the gaze we're looking for. That's what we're trying to attract, is that algorithm to put our resume on top so that more employers are looking at it as much as possible. Zach says, I'm starting to find that it's more about connecting with people. It is, Zach, to be honest with you, a good portion of your journey is definitely reaching out to people. Don't burn the bridges that you already have, right? But also reach out, like, as much as possible. Get your resume out there. Use all of the resources online as much as you can, right? Those can't be understated. But you also want to actually reach out. Like, you want to reach out to old coworkers. You want to reach out to your cousin who happens to be already in IT. You want to reach out to the IT department that is where you work. Maybe you're a sanitation engineer and you're like, I want to do an IT job. Or maybe you're a teacher and you're like, man, I want to do IT. Reach out to the IT person. Talk to them personally. I'm telling you guys what I did when I was in the military. I was a police officer. It was called it's called security forces when I left. And we guarded planes and we did uniform code of military justice. We were police officers. We enforced the law on the base. And I did that for 5 years. I did that I could have got out the military and became a sheriff or a deputy, or I had enough experience where I could have been in law enforcement. I could have been in investigations. I could have totally gone another route. But what I did was I was like, this is not what I really want to do. This is a hard ass job. It's a thankless, hard ass job to do law enforcement, right? And then you have to work with people who can't handle power at all. Like, you have to work with people who should not have a weapon, a badge, or any kind of authority whatsoever. You know what I mean? I mean, it's an important job. I'm not trying to shit on law enforcement. It's very thankless. It's people hate on you, your clients. And anyway, I didn't want to do it. Right. As much as respect I have for that career path, I know it's hard. I mean, to be a first responder and all that, man, it's fucking hard, man. I'm not even fucking with you. It's fucking hard. It takes a special person to do that work. And that's paramedics, fire department, police officers, any kind of first responder sponsor. It is hard as hell. I didn't want to do it. So, and I was more obsessed with doing IT stuff. So I got into that, and the first thing I did was reach out to a person. I said I had my all my gear on as a police officer. I had my beret, had my badge, I had my weapon on me, and I was on lunch. I was on base doing patrols, and then I was on lunch, so I was like, I can go eat go eat something real quick. And I drove over to the IT department on base, and I said, "Hey guys," and they were like, "Hey, officer, what's going on?" I was like, I just had a question. I was like, "Hey guys, like I want to know how how to get into IT. Like how do I get into? I didn't even know what to call it at the time." I said, "I want to be a software engineer." That's what I said. I want to do computer stuff. And they said, "Well, you want to do software engineering? Like what we do here is not software engineering. That's over on this other side of the base. We're IT. We do this, we do that." He started breaking it all down, different units on the base. And this dude took 10 minutes to break it down. In that 10 minutes, right there, that 1 10-minute round changed the trajectory of what direction I was going to go. Just 10 minutes of that dude taking a minute to explain the differences between IT, that it's not all software engineering. He's like, nah, they do that somewhere else. We fix computers. I was like, oh shit, that's what I want to do. And then from there, I start asking around. First person I asked was my boss. I was like, hey, I'm trying to transition into another career field. He didn't really know. He's like, I don't think you can because we really need police officers, so you can't do it. I was like, oh damn. But I didn't give up. I went and asked the career. We had an organization that all they did was figure out what careers people should be in. And I went to them and I asked them, and they said, oh yeah, you can transition into this other field. And I was like, okay, cool. And that's what I did. Start the whole process of transitioning. And so yeah, talking to people is really important, right? I didn't have a resume. I was still in the military. So I actually transitioned when I was in the military. And you can do the same, like whatever. That's why I tell people, start where you are. That's exactly what I did. Wherever you happen to be, they have an IT department, right? Talk to them, like see if you can make a lateral move from this department to the IT department to start with. Or maybe you're in the IT department and you want to go into forensics, or you want to go into a SOC analyst. You're very close to that. You could actually transition instead of going to a whole nother company. Maybe you transition within first, get some experience as a SOC analyst there at this organization, and then transition to another, So talking to people is super important. Yeah. So it's huge. All right. Let me take some more questions here. Security expert, having a strong network is a game changer when you're job hunting. Absolutely. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Knowing it's a lot of times people say it's who you know, it's not what you know. I would take that with a grain of salt. I would say that having a strong network is important. I wouldn't say that it's only about who you know. Maybe in some positions, but in IT, you're really expected to know something, right? You might be able to get your foot in the door, but at some point, somebody's gonna be like, "This guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. How did he even get this job?" Right? And then they're gonna be like, "Okay, how can we get this guy out of here?" I know because these are things I've seen. Because we need people to carry this load. We don't need people who are not willing to learn, at least. You know. Hey, Rookie, how you doing? Thanks for the early notification. Yeah, I need to be better about that. I'm gonna do my best to like get it out there. And shout out Larry. Thank you, Larry, for posting that out there to let people know I'm gonna do this live. Appreciate you, man. SecOps says facts. Had a whole region leave within a month. Yeah. So he's talking about when that first domino falls, and then you just start seeing people leave and stuff, and it's like good people too are leaving, and then that's not. It's just unfortunate when that starts happening. I'm seeing that now, and it's like, damn. I think it's time. I'm like, damn, I've seen this pattern before. I've seen this pattern before. and I think it's time. So I'm already putting my resume out. I'm reaching out to some old coworkers. I'm talking to coworkers who left. They're talking to me. It's about to happen. I can feel it. And it's about that time. I don't want to transition. I don't want to move. I'm getting too old to keep moving around. I mean, not old, but I'm just not like excited about going anywhere else. I mean, I'm gonna work really hard wherever I happen to be. So to keep doing all this transitioning, it's like, damn, I gotta get a whole nother battle rhythm. And I don't feel like this don't, as I've gotten longer in the tooth with this, I just don't I'm not excited about another job. I know I'm gonna work my ass off. I know I gotta meet new people and get another pattern established. And it's like, damn, I don't feel like doing it, but it looks like it's gonna have to happen. Leon says, man, I'm going to need your help then. And he says, I'm a former cloud DevOps security engineer. Sounds like you got it. He says, I definitely need to be more active on this. Yeah. Like I said, like, get your resume out and keep it active. I'm because of the volatility that's happened during the most of the lifetime of my career as a contractor. We lose I've been in contracts that they lost the contract. It wasn't nobody's fault. We just lost the contract. Another bidder came in and they outbid us. We didn't have a good relationship with the employer, with the government, so we lost the contract. I've been in situations where they downsized the contract and then they still had it, but then they brought another team in, so I had to let people go. I've been where they offered to keep us, but as a government employee, and you're like, okay, well, you're gonna have to take $15,000 less, and it's like, nah, I'm good. I think I'm gonna leave. So that because of that volatility, I'm always put my resume out there. Now I need to be better about it. Like I haven't updated my DICE profile, which I want to show you guys. I haven't really updated my Monster and all my other profiles. So I should probably be better about that, because if I was, every time I update it, boom, I'm getting opportunities, just people emailing me, messaging me and stuff like that. You got to stay active on these things. So yeah, let me answer a few more questions, and then I'll take a look at my other profiles to show you guys what's going on with that. Let me see. Domar Solutions says, hey Bruce, I built this tool for cybersecurity individuals. I would love for you to show you to you privately. Yeah, just I get these sometimes. I'm always excited to try different tools, and I'll promote the shit out of it. If I'm using it, then I'll promote it for free. You know what I mean? And I'll promote it even more if you pay me for it, or if you give me a free copy. I've had this happen before. So just contact me at contact@convocourses.com and just send me a copy of the tool, and let me see how it works. And let me show you my email. There it is right there. There's my email. Let me see the tool. If it's a dope ass, I'm looking for something that's a dope ass product that I'll actually use, that I can promote it and then get an affiliate link. That's my dream right there. If I could do that, if you could hook that up. All right, let me see. I'm going to go back to TikTok real quick, see if I have any questions here. And I'll start from the bottom. Somebody said, Zeus says, same thing happened to me at the office where they want me to sign off being blamed for things out of control. I'm crazy. Am I crazy, or does it take hours to zero in a resume? Zero on a resume. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it just, when you know it's time to go, You'll just get all these different. It's not usually one thing. I've noticed that's the main thing. Is it's not one thing. It's normally multiple things, and I'm like, ah, damn. And it's almost like life or God or synchronicity or something is trying to tell me something. And then I tend to listen to those cues. I tend to listen. And then I'm like, damn, this thing happened. And first I'm like, okay, well, that's just how it is. And then another thing will happen. And I'm like, what is going on? And then there's certain patterns that'll happen over and over again when I know it's time to go. And that's one of those is a whole bunch of people that were good people leaving. And it's like, damn, okay. I think it's time. Or it's a rotating group of people. They can't keep anybody. That's another indicator. Let me see. I'm building an IA tool that takes care of compliance. I'm building an IA tool that takes care of compliance, and it's picking up a lot of traction. Yeah, send it to me. You better build it fast because I might make my own tool. Let me see. Or, I mean, better yet, you send me the tool, and I would love to promote the hell out of it, and just rather than me doing a whole bunch of work, just promote the hell out of your product. Hello, what is your advice for someone just got a master's in cybersecurity from a French university? I would have to see more of your situation. I would want to see more of your situation because I can tell you what I always tell people is start where they are. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's the truth. What I mean is, if I given us a certain situation, I'm not going to tell you to do the same thing as somebody who's brand new to this would, right? Like if somebody is already in healthcare industry, they don't have a degree, I would tell them to do something totally different to get into this field than I will tell you who already has a master's degree in this field. My next question to you would be, how much experience do you have? Were you a working student? Do you have projects that you worked on? Do you have projects that you worked on that you could put on your resume? What's your skill set? What's your background? What's your hands-on skill set? What does your profile and resume look like is do you have any experience whatsoever in IT? Based on that, I would tell you, okay, do X, Y, and Z. Most students, if they're still in school, I tell them, hey, get as much hands-on experience as you can through projects. You can list those on your resume. Through if you can help the school for free, like even if it's not a working student program, you can help them for free. Do that. If there's an internship, if there's an apprenticeship, if there's people that you know who got their degree, their graduate degree or undergraduate degree, and got a job, reach out to them because now you have contacts. That's one thing college gives you that people sleep on. Like there's this trend on TikTok, people saying, "Oh, don't get a degree. It's a ripoff. It's lies. It's this and that." One thing that they fail to mention is that when you're in school, you get to know people who are gonna be in these industries, and if you have peers, they're your peers. They get a job in this field. You can reach out to them and say, "Hey, man, do they have openings right now?" Like it's a great way to network when you're in school. So that's one thing right there. But yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're at. You have a master's degree, I would say list all your experience. What if you're still in school, get experience, projects, internships, whatever you can do. Let's say you're already out, you just got a master's degree. What do? Look for internships. You said from a French university. There's a whole bunch of organizations who want French speaking people who know information technology. I know because they reach out to me. I'm like, I don't know French, bro. There's a whole bunch of Canadian, a couple different African countries speak exclusively French. And then some American companies want a IT professional who is fluent in French. Or another big one is Japanese. Another big one is German. Another one, of course, is Spanish. Those ones, like if you have those, you have a niche market that a lot of us are not going to be able to penetrate. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to look into. Let me see here. I speak French. Oh man, that's awesome. Are you from the US? Most Americans don't know French. Rookie says, I updated my profile. I update my profile sometimes. I use it to I use it to do I used to do it every weekend when I was very actively looking for a job. Yes. Yes, same here. When I'm looking, I'm updating all of it. But when I'm not, I'm just updated every now and then if I get a certification or something like that. But I keep it active. My cousin is a state trooper, and I know I would never. I could never. Yeah, it's. I did it for a while, and you know what? Like one thing that's not said is that um, politics and all that stuff aside, is that doing that job, you see people at their worst. You're responding to bad situations usually, right? Or if somebody's doing something where they violate the law and you have to stop them. And a lot of times you're seeing people at their worst. Uh, and it's just a bad, especially as a police officer. This is not who the person is, but you're responding to a domestic dispute. And they're just having a bad day. They're having the worst day of their life. And you're responding. You're seeing people at their worst over and over and over again. It's your job. And what happens is it makes you a little bit misanthropic because you start to see you only see the bad parts. You see people with the worst of what humanity is capable of, and it opens your eyes in how dark humanity can get, like how ridiculous it can get, because a lot of people don't get to see that side of it, and I don't think a lot of people should see it because it will make you not like humans. But at the same time, like it also gives you, if you have a broader world perspective, you'll know that all of us are trying to get through this. Nobody has answers, and everybody has a bad day, even if you didn't see it. And it's hard. Life is hard sometimes, you know. And as a first responder, you're seeing how hard it can actually get. And if you see the same kind of picture of a person over and over again, you get this bias, like an AI getting fed all bad things about black people or something, right? And there's this and it's not all like, if you only watch the news and you're only seeing black people getting arrested, right? Like, what are you gonna think? It's it's bias. And if you're a cop, maybe that was a poor example, but if you're a cop and you're just seeing the same, you see you see people at their worst, and then it starts to make you not like people as a whole. And it takes a special kind of person to keep doing that and still care about people, because they have a bigger, broader understanding, a wiser view of that. Hey, we're all trying to make it. Nobody's perfect. um, and some people have worse situations and circumstances than others. You know, we're not all born on third base and getting home runs, right? You know, so anyway, my 2 cents on being a cop. It was hella hard. It was the hardest job to this day, the hardest job I've ever done. I mean, even when I went into communications in the Air Force, I went to like I went to like two war zones when I was in the and it was freaking crazy. I went to Afghanistan. It was ridiculous, man. I've never seen no shit like that in my life. But I would still say like being a cop was way harder than that, because it was hard, man. That's a hard job. Let me see. I'm going to TikTok here to see if there's any questions. I'm not going to keep you guys too long. I'm just going to go for about an hour, but I'm going to take a couple more comments and questions and stuff. and show you guys my profiles that I got queued up here. Thanks, I'm in ISO right now, and that's a good template for what I do. For what do I put on my resume and LinkedIn? Yes, yeah, you can follow my profile right here. See how I have it laid out, where I'm focusing in on all the keywords you really need, and specifically is for ISOs. Like my bread and butter, like the main thing I do is information security officer, but I have done other things. That there's other keywords in here. Like I was in SOC analyst for a little bit, and I was an engineer for a little bit. But if you really want to dial in like your ISO stuff, like I have plan of action and milestones, I have different policies, how to write what you did for policies in standard operating procedures and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there that you can copy it. I'm a hairstylist for 20 years, no degree, no tech, but I want to be in GRC. Where do I start? So you're going to have to learn the basics. I would say before you even consider GRC, this line of work, just take a look for free on YouTube. Don't spend any money. Don't fall for anybody's gimmicks on their course or whatever. Once you get to a point where you can buy courses, then great. Like I'm not great once you get certifications and all that. But right now, if you're a hairstylist, you're coming from any field. This goes for anybody who has zero IT experience or background. Listen, the first thing you want to do is window shop. Don't spend no money. Just go to YouTube. Listen to what people are saying about IT. Listen to what they're saying. Like listen to the real, not just the good stuff, the money, not just that, but like what you got to peel up with. You might not want to do IT. This might not be for you. It's not for everybody. It's for people who are very patient, people who like puzzles. I would say, like, if you like puzzles, you're patient. You can patiently figure out things. You like IT, or you're just good at it. Put your hands on some IT first. Mess around with it. See if you like it. You might not like it. You might hate it with every fiber of your being. If that's the case, you can do stuff that's not super technical, that's adjacent to IT, such as project management. Project management is not super technical, but you have to know enough to know how they're going to develop a certain system. So you actually have to be in alignment with how systems are engineered. Not necessarily in the weeds, but like you have to know a little bit about what they're doing to develop very complex software or systems or whatever. So it's not in the weeds like where they're implementing a I don't know, a cloud solution for some bank or something. You're not going to be doing that if you're a project manager, but you can be a part of the team that's developing it. And that's where you're not. So there's other aspects of IT that are adjacent to IT. They're not necessarily, but they get paid very well compared to other organizations, compared to other career paths. Just check it out first. You're a hairstylist. You're a nurse. You're a bank teller. You want to go into IT. Listen, GRC is a specialization of IT. The first thing you need to do is know the fundamentals of information technology. Don't spend no money. Go online, go to YouTube, go to wherever. Watch these guys, see what they say about it, the good, the bad, the ugly. Put your hands on some IT, mess around with it. If this is something that's drawing you in, like if it's pulling you in, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Whether that's the draw is like, damn, this gets, I can really get paid. I'm willing to put in the time to do it, then go for it. If you're like, man, I really like this. This is really cool. I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to know more. I'm thirsty for more. Keep going. Learn the basics of information technology. That's your very first step before you talk GRC or anything like that. Learn the basics to see if you want to even get in this field. Let me see here. Okay, what I wanted to do next is show you guys a couple of my other profiles. Let me see if I have it still queued up here. I have a couple of other profiles that not just what I'm trying to emphasize is that you don't want to just do LinkedIn. In fact, most of my opportunities have not come from LinkedIn. They've come from Monster and they've come from Dice. And let me show you what I mean about that. So I'm setting it up right now. Yeah, here it is. Here's one of them right here. This is Dice. So I've already set up my whole profile on Dice, and it's constantly sending me different job opportunities. And some of these are really cool because I can just click this one button right here, and then I apply for the job. But I set up my entire profile here on Dice, 100% complete. And another one that I really like is Monster. I set up my whole profile on this one, and I'm not showing my screen on YouTube. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to show it in a second here. Sorry about that. I apologize. There we go. So here we are on Dice, and some of the job offers. And this is because I'm getting these not offers, opportunities, different things pop up that are in alignment with what I do. And it's because I've set this whole thing. I've completely put my whole resume, you got to fill this thing out completely. Fill it out completely and remain active on it. And then you'll get more things popping up of people contacting you about jobs and stuff. But you got to make sure, like I said in the beginning, make sure it has all the keywords for whatever you're trying to do. All right, I got some great comments in here. Let me see. Being able to speak a second language is a second language is a great asset for most organizations. Honestly, it's often the thing that gives me an edge when I'm up against someone who with similar skills and experience. Yeah, another language is an incredible plus, a real big one that not enough people talk about. I have mad respect for people who know other languages, especially like French, German, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese. Holy crap, that's a big one. Bigger and bigger these days. Yeah, any language that you can speak fluently enough to speak business is a really incredible skill set that you want to definitely list on your resume once you get deeper into this. Larry says, is there anything that differentiates your job search efforts when looking into positions overseas, contractors or otherwise versus domestically here in the United States? Yes. So there are some things that you can put on there that are going to stand out. You definitely want to put the skills on there, right? You still want to put all the skills in there, but one thing you can put on there is that if you're willing to travel, you can put it right up in here that you're willing to travel. Another thing you can do is look for those jobs. Like if you really want to leave the US, you could go, let me see, what's a popular one? Let me see if I can find one real quick. IT security. I'm looking for an IT security overseas. Let me see. I think we can filter and look for jobs that are outside the US. I'm looking for other countries. I'm going to put a few countries in here. I'm going to put few countries in here, and then let's see if we can find some countries where I've been contacted a few times by companies who have their work is overseas, but they're like a U.S. company or something, and yeah, I think that they're attracted by my skill set more so than the willingness to go to these other countries. But I'm trying to figure out like how could you, if you wanted to target them, like what would you do if you really wanted to work overseas? Like what kinds of things could you do? And so all I did was right here. These are people who already work over there in Thailand. So what we could do is we could look at their resume. That's one little thing we could do is look at a person who's in Thailand. Like, what does his resume as an IT security person? What is he doing? Like, what is his? What makes it so special that he's working over there? He's working remotely for this company. So what I could do is I could apply for this company directly. Wildberries, information security analyst, Wildberries. I could contact this guy directly. I could be like, hey man, I'm trying to be a SOC analyst remotely for this company, and I want to be in Thailand too. Do you guys have any job openings? Right, I could just be real aggressive with it, and so yeah, you can put your willingness to work overseas in your resume. If you have any experience working overseas, which I know you do, if you're military, then you have experience. You want to list that in your resume somewhere to show, hey, I'm versatile. I could work anywhere. You could also find people who already work abroad. Like this guy's been working abroad for a while, and talk to him directly and ask him, hey man, you guys have any positions over at Wildberry? I'm a I'm a project manager and I'm looking for a position over there. I'm an IT security analyst like you, and I want to get a job over there. Or apply directly for that company that he's already working for, or do both. Let's see if there's any other things we can do. We're just doing an analysis work. All we're doing is analyzing, looking for patterns to see what we can do to make ourselves more marketable. We're looking for ways we can get in. Here's another one. This is a person. There's now what's interesting is they're speaking in English, but they're working in Thailand as a security engineer. I mean, that's very interesting. We could reach out to this person. What are they looking for? Is this a remote job? Do they have openings? What can we do to get in there? And we could actually look at their resume. This guy is Splunk. He's got ISO 27001. I would look at that. Look at the skill set of this person. This person's in Bangkok. They've got AWS. Another one from Bangkok. There's a lot of jobs in Bangkok, I'm noticing, because this is not the only country I put on there, by the way. But it's interesting that there's so many jobs in Thailand that are there. Anyway, we could add way more destinations here, look for jobs there, and do deep research. And there's no guarantee we're going to get those jobs, but they're out there. They exist. There's a bunch of jobs out there. I know one company that used to work remotely. They have a lot of remote contracts. There's another little trick we can do. This is a company called Vectorus, and these guys have a whole bunch of defense contracts that are overseas. I know because I used to work for them. And this is one of many. And what we could do to find out more jobs like this is we could Google it and look on AI to see what companies like Vectorus have a bunch of contracts that are overseas. And then we could figure out if they have jobs opening right now. And I bet they do. So let's go ahead and look at their page. Let's see here. Post jobs. No jobs for Vectorus. Okay. Maybe they've gone down. Affiliated pages. Here's another one. We're looking at affiliated pages that are similar to Vectorus. and it's a subsidiary of Vectors. This company, they have a bunch of shell corporations that they swap out. I'm not sure how much of that I should talk about. I mean, I don't know for sure. I just know when I was working for them, they did, and they rotate these positions. And I don't know why they do this, but let's see if there's any other affiliated companies that have. But this is another shell company that works with them. Is this another subsidiary of Vectors? I think maybe I'm talking too much here. They have a bunch of jobs, but I don't see any outside the United States. I have to do more research on this one. That's a good question, Larry. There's a couple things you could do. I've worked for some of these companies before that have a bunch of they have a bunch of jobs overseas. And I know when I was there, they had a bunch in the Middle East, which I'm sure has changed because that was like 15 years ago. There was some in Southeast Asia, not as many. And then there's some in Europe. And I've gotten contacted by some in South America. I've gotten contacted by some in like Eastern Europe. They're asking me, hey, we got a job here in Montenegro or Prague or something. And I just don't want to try. I just don't want to live there. You know, I'm maybe if I was single or if I was 30 or something, and and maybe I would do it. But I've got kids. I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like I can't go unless I'm taking my family with me. I mean, unless I'm trying to live there permanently or something, I'd probably go to Philippines or something like that, where I've got some people there that I could grow with and stay there and retire there or something like that. But these days, yeah, I need to do more research on this. It's a good question, Larry. I can tell you this. If you put the proper skill set, like in the beginning of this, I talked about how to break down how to find the keywords and key phrases. The reason why I get these opportunities to go to Prague or go to Montenegro or go to, man, a couple really good ones, man. I'm telling you, I've gotten some really good ones. But the reason why is because I put those keywords and key phrases in there. So I'm getting reached. People are reaching out to me from all over the world, not just the US, all over the states, all over the 50 states, but also other countries are saying, hey, we have a position here where we need somebody to do these skills, right? And if you put those on there, they'll reach out to you. And you won't have to do all the hunting for these other jobs. And Larry says, I really want to push myself to get the Security Plus. In your opinion, how long should I reasonably give myself to get it, especially as a full-time worker with a family, understanding the sacrifices of time will have to be made. Thank you for the $20. So let me just tell you what I do, because I'm also a busy man. Like I'm writing, I'm making courses. I have a full-time job where I'm working more than 40 hours a week. I got kids. I got a wife. I'm busy. I don't have a lot of spare time. So how do I do certifications? I just got 2 certifications. Granted, they're easier certifications, but what I did was every day I took about an hour every day as I was at the gym. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, and as I'm at the gym, I'm just walking on the treadmill, and I'm either listening to a Udemy. I go to Udemy and I'm going through the lessons. An hour every day. Every day that I'm at the gym, I'm also listening to a Udemy course, or I'm answering questions over and over again, or I'm reading through my notes, or I'm even reading a book. Like I'll get a book on audio and I'll just listen to it over and over again until I get a concept. If I don't get a concept, what I'll do is I'll watch a whole nother video or a book or an excerpt, or I'll go to AI or something to break it down and explain like I'm 5 this particular concept. And I'll just go through it to where The way I understand stuff, Larry, is if I can't explain it to you in simple terms, like in regular layman's terms, and if I can't explain it to you, then I don't fully feel like I understand it. There's concepts that can do. I can do them, but I can't explain it to you. You know what I'm saying? But with a something like Security Plus, you need to understand it to where you can quickly explain it to another person in your own words. And so that brings me to another important point. You need to know your learning style. Some people learn better when just listening to stuff. Some are tactile. They gotta put their hands on something. And some people are visual learners. I found most people are a combination of all of them, but there's one thing that you are better at, right? For me, I know that I'm better at visual learning. Like if I write it down, if I'm kinetic and visual, if I write it down and read it or have a visual representation, man, I got it for life. It's over. It's done deal. If I've written it down, I've got it. I understand concepts really well if I do those two things. Not so good at audio listening. It kind of goes through one ear and out the other. It's good at reinforcement for me, but not at really nailing it, unless it's a concept I'm already familiar with. But I know that if I listen to it over and over again, I'll get it. So know your learning style, and that's going to speed up your learning process. What's been really working for me is every day I'll take like 30 minutes to an hour to just sit down with that material, whether it's going through my notes, going through questions, going through a certain concept, or sometimes I'll pick a concept apart. Like I don't understand subnetting very well. So I'll go deep into that one thing. I'll just watch a whole bunch of videos back to back on that one thing until I at least understand some semblance of something about the concept where I can explain it to somebody else. And then, man, after that, then I got it, and I move on to the next topic. For Security Plus, it depends on where you're coming. How long it's going to take depends on what's your background. From expert level, like if you have been in IT for some time, technical, super deep, a lot of the concepts will be familiar, and you're just learning terms. You're just learning terminology because you've touched most of it. You could probably do Security Plus if you're from an expert level, like you've done IT. You could in a couple weeks, like you could knock it out, like because you're just doing concepts. Few weeks, I'd say maybe 1 month if you already have a background in it. If you're familiar with some of it, but you're not hands-on IT person, it's going to take you a bit longer. You should take your time. You don't rush it. Don't rush it. Learn. You need to because it's going to be different for you because you should have some hands-on. I'm not trying to make it harder for you, but here's the thing. Security Plus is one of those certifications that if you understand it, it's going to open up so many other doors. It's an important certification. It can lead you down these other paths. It's one of my favorite certifications because it's not too broad. Like CISSP is so damn broad as to make a person irrelevant. It's a mile long and an inch thick. It's so much ground it covers that after a while it's like, okay, what does this even mean? But Security Plus is a pool where if you understand all the concepts, you could go deep into cloud security. You could go deeper into encryption. You could go deeper into AI or forensics or something. You can go. It like shows you here's all of these different branches, and they all have a common understanding for basic security, basic best security practices. That all of these things, and once you get it, it's going to be like a light bulb goes off. It's really, I could sum it up like this. It's really about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And that's it. There's a lot going on with those, and you've got other things like authentication, and you got all these other tools to help you do those three things. but it comes back to those three things. There's a bunch of concepts that all wrap into those things, but if you always sum it up with how can I protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of this system or of this organization, you'll usually arrive to the proper conclusion. You'll know the right answer. You'll somehow be on the, at least on the right track to the right answer. You'll have a deeper understanding of what it needs to be, what needs to happen. I would say it would take you to answer your question as a person who has exposure to IT. What you should do is take your time. Don't rush it. After 3 months, if you wanted to like really speed it up, 3 solid months of study consistently. If you really just don't have time, you're going to skip days of study, give yourself at least 6 months. And here's another thing. Don't be distracted. Don't have too many distractions. Focus on one certification at a time. It's so much flashy stuff going on right now. There's so many different things that's going to try to pull your attention away. Get the certification first. Focus on Security Plus, and that's it. Don't do AI. Don't do cloud. Don't do just focus unless it's in line with what you're learning. Then yeah, okay, learn it. But focus on one thing, and you'll go faster. If you focus on one thing at a time, you'll go much, much faster with it. Reasonable amount for somebody who's intermediate. 6 months you can do, and you don't have you're not super IT all the time. I'd say you could do it in 6 months, a solid 6 months. If you want to really take your time and really understand it, don't take a year. You don't need a year. I would say you do not need a year to do it. You should force yourself to take it within 8 months. You should, even to the point where you say, look, this is the day. Put it on your calendar. I'm going to take the Security Plus. And if I don't take it, I'm going to kick my own ass. I'm going to take it on this day right here. Give yourself X amount of months and say, I'm going to take it. Even if I have to fail, I'm going to take it on this day. It'll force you. Once you have a date in mind, it'll force you to keep studying consistently every day. And all I do is I do 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. And if I really want to learn something deeply, I'll take a little bit more time. I'll take times when I just take, when I put my hands on a computer and start learning it that way. And let me see. Larry says, I'm putting it on record here to hold myself accountable. Oh, you're getting on record right now to hold yourself accountable. I'm getting the Security Plus before the end of the year. Y'all hold me to it. I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to keep bringing it up. And now you have to do it, Larry. You have to do it. Yes. The Security Plus is not that deep, but it's not too hard. You got this. I recommend Andrew Ramadalia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that course on Udemy. You'll have it in 6 weeks. Yeah, man. Udemy is incredible. It's got some great teachers on there. They've got some awesome resources. I really love that app. I really got to put my stuff on Udemy. You got this, Larry. We got you, man. Now everybody hold Larry accountable. He's going to take it before the end of the year. Oh man. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out of here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. I will be back here next week. If you follow me on a regular basis, I will be announcing beforehand, plus like Ruki said, to let you guys know exactly what time and what topic. I think next week I'm going to cover more about my journey getting this new job, or working towards getting a job, because I don't have nothing on paper yet, no offers. And then I'm also going to I want to cover some more AI stuff, and how it's adjacent to the GRC career field. But I got to go. I do see you guys' questions on here. If you guys want to continue this conversation, just follow me on ConvoCourses.com. Go to ConvoCourses.com, sign up for Circle. I'm trying out a whole nother thing where I have a community set up there. We can talk on a regular basis. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. for watching. I just got out of TikTok, and now I'm about to close. I'm about to close this stream here. Shout out Larry. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hold you accountable for that Security Plus before the end of the year. And shout out Rookie and all my donators. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Bye.